Madden gods.
Perfect. Welcome to Tips for Gamers. Today we are going to be... Sorry guys, I apparently inhaled air wrong and I don't do retakes. Alright, but in this video we're going to show you guys how to scout and draft Superstar X-Factor wide receivers. So let's light up, make sure to hit that like button, comment down below. Woo-ha! Get a little yippee yippee. Come on now. These are the guys who are going to best be suited to become X-Factors in the future. Okay, I don't care if you guys draft an X-Factor now, doesn't mean he's going to maintain that X-Factor in the future. But these guys that we're going to show you are going to be the best, hands down. So I do want to apologize to you guys about the length of this video, but there's nothing we can do. I could not get it any less with all the information that we're giving you guys. We are giving you information that you have not heard before. In-depth information, exactly how these wide receivers are graded, what's in each archetype, the pros and cons. And so you're going to learn so much in this that, you know, you got to bring out your pencils, and it's going to take a little bit of time, but you cannot rush perfection. So apologize for the length of this video, but let's light it up. So a big mistake people make first and foremost is they look to the right and then they end up seeing where only physical guys look good and deep threat guys look good. Playmakers don't look that good and slots really aren't. There's not as many slots in majority of drafts, right? And slot guys don't tend to look that good. This guy doesn't actually look too bad here. However, when you're looking at the right side, you need to understand what makes these wide receivers the wide receivers that they are, right? What is in their archetype? Because if you take a player, a wide receiver, and you put them from 50 overall, from speed all the way down to jumping, you'll notice that the deep threat, playmaker, and physical wide receivers are all 16 overall. However, the slot receiver is an 18 overall. And you may ask yourself, why would that be the case? Well, slot receivers get awarded more for awareness. They get more for less. So you need to understand what they're good at and what wide receivers are technically bad at, depending on their archetype. And once you know the pros and cons of what make this wide receiver the type of wide receiver that they are, you'll be able to formulate, hey, this guy is a playmaker guy also. This guy is a physical guy as well. He has a little bit of deep threat, a little bit of slot to him. Okay, so we'll have this on our site eventually in time. We're trying to get through a lot of different things. But for a deep threat, what do they get promoted for the most? Deep route running, speed, acceleration, and they're tied in catching. What they are worst at: strength, carrying, ball carrier vision, break tackle, trucking, stiff arm, and short route running. Okay, some of these things you just think about common sense, right? A playmaker, what are they best at? A playmaker is basically like a running back, a wide receiver. Medium route running, juke move, ball carry vision, break tackle, cod, and spin move is what they get rewarded for most. What are they least rewarded for? Catching, awareness, catching in traffic, strength, carrying, trucking, and release. Physical guys, what do they get rewarded for the most? Well, that's catching in traffic, spectacular catch, release, jumping, strength, stiff arm, and trucking. Okay? They are least promoted in acceleration, speed, agility, medium route running, cod, spin move, juke move, deep route running, carrying, and ball carry vision. So once you start to realize this, just think of it like, okay, a physical guy catching in traffic. Spectacular catch is one that shocked me. I really wasn't expecting that all that much. But the common ones are like, yeah, well, is a physical guy going to be rewarded for acceleration, speed, agility? You know, medium route running was a little shocking, but cod, spin move, juke move, and deep route running, carrying, and ball carry vision, no, that's not that shocking. You know, and for a deep threat guy, is it shocking that they're not usually good at the strength, carrying, ball carry vision, break tackle, truck? No. Okay, not that shocking. So slot guys, they're most rewarded for short route running, they're tied in catching with deep threat, agility, awareness, and carrying. Okay, what are they least rewarded for? Is that strength, ball carrier vision, trucking, stiff arm, spectacular catch, release, and jumping. All right, so once you understand these, that's when you can start to look to the right and go, man, I see a physical guy and he's got a really good deep route runner. Well, you may want to investigate him further. So for this video, I don't really know who my scouts are, but the one thing I have to say about scouting report, because that's what we'll talk about next, is the scouting report is basically the same on every single guy except for the bottom one. It shows good discipline or he lacks discipline. Okay, so that's not really something that I'm going to dive into much. You know, if you see a guy that it doesn't say needs work on simple concentration drops, definitely make sure to investigate him, as much as you possibly can, because that's an anomaly. And you're looking for anomalies, okay? So I don't really know who my scouts are. We'll have the video on the scouts for you guys, so you guys will have the best scouts. But I want to show you this without having to have the perfect exact scouts, just by knowing the system. All right, so with wide receivers, I want you guys to be strict with the wide receivers, because it's not about just drafting the best wide receiver. It's drafting the best wide receiver at the smartest time, okay? And that doesn't always mean the highest overall wide receiver, because I may look at it and go, well, I know the best wide receiver is in the first round, but I think he's like probably a 73 overall or something like that. And, you know, I'll let someone else take him, and I'll take this 78 overall linebacker or D tackle or offensive lineman or whatever, right? And then I'll still draft a guy late, because there's a lot of undrafted free agent wide receivers that are actually pretty decent, okay? And you're going to find them sitting on free agency, so be greedy. You're also going to find 70 overall wide receivers in majority of drafts. You're going to find those guys in the 5th to 7th round, okay? And I'm not kidding you. They're going to be out there. So, you know, be strict. And the best thing you could do with the drafting is there's no like real cut, easy, perfect thing when it comes to wide receivers. It is, you are assessing as much as you can, and then going from there and just making your best guess. That's really what you're doing. You're not going to always be perfect. I'm not always perfect in this. I'm good. I'm great, I'd like to think. But also, I'm not always going to be like, man, I'm always striking gold and getting that hidden dev perfect guy. No, I usually get the highest overall wide receivers. No doubt about it. However, there's times too where I'm like, man, I could have gotten that guy in the 6th, but I picked him up, this other guy in the 5th, and he's only 1 overall more. And in reality, I could have gotten this other guy who I thought was probably around a 73 plus. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about drafting. That's what makes drafting so fun to me. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the physicals here, and I'm trying to first match up that you are what you say you are. This guy's a physical guy, so I want to see that strength, and I want to see that jumping, right? But the things that keep me intrigued are the things that he's not supposed to be good at. Well, good COD? What the hell is that? Well, that's intriguing to me, right? So I'm looking at those, the speed, the agility, and the acceleration. He's not technically supposed to have those, right? That's a deep threat guy or a playmaker, or possibly even a slot. So the fact that I see that, I like it. And I move on to the combine. I'm just trying to match the combine up with the ratings there. So it tells me that this guy's probably good, but not like, you know, this insane crazy dude just from the start. You know, I don't know 100% yet, but what I see is catching in traffic. Okay, what does that mean? All right, that means he's good at what he says he's good at, because that's a strength. That is a physical thing. His spectacular catch is also an A, which is a physical trait. His injury, a little bit concerning. If I see a straight F, I won't do it, because that means 80 overall, right around there, which is a little bit concerning. Same thing with stamina. If his stamina is just really low, what's the point? You know what I mean? So his release, okay, that is something I also really like to see, but that is also a physical trait. They have good release. His catching, A through a C. What I like, I'm looking for, okay, the spin move I know is a D, but I know his juke move, the lowest it can be, is a C. So I'm looking for, just because I can't exactly know what it is, doesn't mean that I can't get a good idea of like how good this guy can actually be, because I know he's good at what he says he's good at. But I'm also looking at it and going, well, you actually have a playmaker trait there with that juke move. Because even if it's a C, that's actually pretty good, right? Break tackle, lowest it could be is a C. Not too bad there. On the ball carrier vision, lowest you could be is a D. His deep route's a B through a D. So I'm starting to see things to formulate that I'm like, this guy's worth drafting, right? I'm seeing certain indicators like that juke move, right? That he has, that it's like, all right, intriguing to me. I am intrigued, and I think with his physicals, I think with what I already know about the guy, this guy's worth putting on my list. Okay, so let's look at another physical guy here. I'm not going to look at Johnston. I think Johnston's not too bad there. The deep route running is an F, so right away that tells me, too, that this guy is more than likely a true physical guy if he's good at being physical. But then you have to ask yourself, too, is like, well, how good is he? Because he is projected to go into the first round, and I'm not really loving that idea. So that is something that you want to think about. His catching in traffic is also a C. So how good is he really at what he is? So now you could start, since you know what to look for, I can already look at that and start to assess and go, yeah, is he a great physical wide receiver? No, he's not. And I could see that right away, right? And I'm looking at this Cortez guy for a deep threat, but I want to look at one more physical guy here. This guy also not a guy, he's a guy I'm going to pass on. You got a D catching in traffic, okay? Now this guy, Chambers, looks really good, right? You know, you see him, but a lot of times this could be bluff, you know, and you're looking at, okay, decent speed, not too bad. Enough for me to move on to the next page here. Medium route is a C. I do like seeing that. His deep route is a B. I definitely like seeing that. This guy's second to third round. I like what I see. I'd put him on my list, you know, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go with him second round, depending on some of those other guys. But I do like what I see there. His juke move's not that good. Spin move's not that good. Lowest it could be is an F. So what is this starting to tell you right away? This is telling you that, well, this guy, looking at his physicals, decent speed, and all that, this guy is a true blue blood physical wide receiver. Right away, I can tell that. Okay, because I'm not seeing any other indicators of things besides that. Is he good at what he says he's good at? Sure. Is this guy going to be a 70 overall? Yeah, I would bet that he's a 70 plus, right? That would just be my guess there. So with physical wide receivers, that's really what you're looking for there, right? Wide receivers not the easiest to recruit or to scout because you really want to just make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. I think this guy's good. Now, needs work on some concentration drops. We're going to move on to deep threat here. Now, I like this guy quite a bit when it comes to, you know, he's not off the charts on his numbers, which is a little concerning to me. Oh, my headphones basically exploded right into my ear, which was terrible. Now, the thing that concerns me right out of the gate, though, is the fact that he has D catching. His catching in traffic, though, is intriguing to me because that is not necessarily what a deep threat is good at. So his catching, not the best, but a spectacular catch. They're known to be second in that category, deep threats. His deep route's an A, short route is a D, which is not too bad. Juke move is an A through a C, spin move is a B through a D, so it tells me this guy's got a little bit of playmaker to him. Stamina is an A through a C, which I like to see, B through a D, injury there. I like to see that. So there's enough that I see here that I'm going, yeah, I would put you on my list. I'd probably actually draft him ahead of the other guy that I saw, but probably not. I don't know. It depends out of those two guys where they would fall out of Cortez Carter. I'm looking at his release, his stiff arm, everything like that. The worst it could be is a D. You know, I'm not getting like a crazy enough information out of this guy to be like, wow, this guy is, you know, he is really, really good. I don't see him as like a 77 overall or anything like that. But what I do see is I see, all right, deep route, you're an A, so you're good at what you say you're good at. Spectacular catch, you're also an A, which is very impressive. That's a really good one to have. Your juke move kind of tells me there you got a little bit of playmaker to you. Your catching is a D, which is unfortunate, but I do think I could get that up pretty quick. Catching in traffic is a C, which is a physical trait. This guy has enough knowledge. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at this and going, you're giving me enough to where I like what I see. So Carter would be as my number 2. Lacey would be my number 1. Carter would be my number 2, just right out of the gate. However, I am liking this Dotson here. Definitely liking this Dotson quite a bit. Deep threat guy here. Okay, so already right out of the gate, this guy is bumped up my list a little bit more than the other guy, Great Cod, which is not a deep threat thing. That is more of a playmaker. Great agility. That's also, they're known in their second place in that category. So these are the things that I'm picking up. F injury. This guy's the best overall of the 2 deep threats that I looked at. Just from what I can see, his catching is a C to an F, which is a little bit concerning there. Spectacular catch. But his release is nice. His awareness is a C to an F. I'm guessing just from looking at those ratings and combining it with the skills, this guy's a better overall. I could be wrong. But the F injury is something I just can't deal with, so I would move on. The big thing, what I'd be looking for now is I'd be looking for another backup guy or a playmaker. I want to look at some playmaker guys here and see if I can find... Oh, Jesus Christ, this guy's... All right, Grayson is a guy that I would investigate a little further, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, I don't... okay, so he's got solid COD. He's not, like, really that great, even at what he says he's good at. Juke move, not... Yeah, you see his juke move and his spin moves basically relatively the same as that deep threat guy, both deep threat guys. But, yeah, not... just not enough that I'd really love it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this guy. I don't see enough. Playmaker, another guy here. Nope, not good here. Catching in traffic, catching, nothing great there at all. All right, so Tubbs is enough to where I can see him. And you may value also, just because the overalls are the same, you may value a playmaker over another playmaker. But still, there's guys out there that are probably pretty decent. This guy's not too bad. Okay, I'm seeing his catching. I like that. Playmakers are not known. They're graded worse for their catching. So this guy here with his catching that high, he is matching a slot, and he's matching a deep threat style there, and he's also got a deep route that's a C. Tells me that this guy is not too terrible. Okay, they're second in speed, so the fact he has decent speed kind of drives me nuts a little bit. It tells me that this guy is good, not great. Okay, so he'd make it to my list, but there is that. I want to see if I can find another playmaker here. I'm seeing C's, and C's are a big thing when it comes to playmakers. That's what you want to look at. Now, this guy's got good speed. He's got solid strength as well. He's got solid COD. I wish that COD was elite, because then it would be like, wow, this guy's really good. Deep route is a D. Short route is a D. Spectacular catch is a C. Catching is a C. This guy's not too bad. Not too terrible there. Decent injury, though. I know it's above 80 for sure. So, yeah, this guy would make it onto your list. You know, Andrew McQueen, he'd make it onto your list. But is it, you know, is he, this guy's not bad here. I want to look at him, make sure. We'll go through. Not bad. Not bad here. I like the good strength. I like some of the stuff I'm seeing catching. So with this guy, his juke move is a C through an F. Automatically, I go to that, and I'm looking for indications. And so it tells me that, you know, as the best it could be, he's not even like super amazing at being a playmaker, and he is listed as a playmaker, because the best you could be is this, the worst you could be is an F. That's terrible. Okay, so with slot guys, you're basically trying to find as much knowledge as possible on slot guys when it comes to, you know, just what they're good at. Short route running, catching, agility, awareness. You know, if they don't have awareness, it's not the worst thing in the world, but you know, slot guys, they're guys that I'd be more careful of. Definitely more careful of, just because of the fact that they get rewarded more for less. And so it may not look like, if you see a slot guy, it may be like a lot of bluff. Like, this guy looks okay here. This guy's a playmaker here. I do want to look at him. He's got some C's and some value here. Now, I like to see that agility, that elite COD. Boom. I found a guy here that I'm drafting at least late 5th to 7th round, depending on how wide receivers are going. I would take a chance on this guy because of those ratings. Looking at that spin move, it's an A. Looking at that juke move, A to a C. Spectacular catch is not that great. His catching in traffic, not that great. Medium route running, not that great. There's certain things that I don't like, but there's enough that with a late 5th round pick or something like that, I would definitely take a chance on this guy, because I know his spin move's an A. Okay. His injury and his stamina, they're above an 80, both of them, I know for sure. His deep route running and run block, not the greatest, but yeah, I'm seeing enough here where I'm going, okay, A spin move. His juke move's an A through a C. Ball carries an A through a C. Awareness is a B through a D. Catching is a C to an F, a little bit concerning there. But you're talking at that late round, you may sit there and go, hey, you know, I'm going to put this guy on my board, and that's what I would do. So the Thad Porter, McQueen, I would put him on my list. I would go through those guys and possibly pick one of them up. This Hickman guy, I'm intrigued on him enough, depending on all. I don't remember. I know I'd put him on my list, but honestly, 2nd to 3rd, I don't think I would get Tubbs, even though I think he's decent. Dotson, I really, really like. But one of these guys had terrible injury, so I'd go with the one that didn't have terrible injury. I bet you this guy's decent, but he's a straight-up physical guy. And then Jamie Lacey, I think, is still going to be the #1 guy at this moment in time. But depending on how the draft shakes up, I'd maybe surpass on him for some of the other guys that I know are decent. All right, let's check out the wide receivers. So McQueen went in the 6th round, 70 overall. Not bad there. Definitely not bad there. Torrey Tubbs, yeah, 70 overall, not a shock there, but he went in the 3rd round, so yeah, you know, that makes it tough, because, you know, you do have Chambers here. He didn't end up being too bad. That agility isn't the best, however, you know, not too terrible there. Now, Thad Porter, definitely right around where I would have picked him up. in late 5th to a 7th, I definitely, yeah, just because it says undrafted doesn't mean they're going to go undrafted. I want you guys to know that for sure. Okay, so, and then we got Spears, not good. Hickman, decent. Blake, not too bad. But these, 5th, 6th, but there you go. You can see that these guys are out there. Now, I wasn't able to just start recruiting everyone of this video. Would be 40 minutes long. This guy's not too bad. They're super, super fast, and I really like to see that very, very fast. So that is a guy that maybe as a user you'd pick up, no doubt. Even in simulation, a guy you'd probably want to jump on. Dotson was a 74 overall. Guy's really, really talented, no doubt about that. Let's go to Carter. Yeah, I like Carter. I do like him. I like the man. And then Lacey, not a shock there. First round 15. Not a bad pickup, though, for 15 there. Not bad at all. So... yeah, so Johnston, not bad, pure physical guy. But look, first round 28, that's where it just like some of these guys would be like, that's a little too early for me. And then if you're fully scouting these guys and going through it, jumping through it, you'll look at the speed. I usually go really quick, and I'm not having to explain it to anyone. So I'm usually a lot faster when I'm doing the drafts. And it's nice. And you guys will get fast, too, over time. I was going to say, that guy's a beast, but I was like, how did I miss him? And he is a halfback, so that does not count. But anyways, Thad Porter, I think, is the steal of the draft right there, no doubt. 6th round, pick 12, 72 overall. Love it. I love it. Absolutely love it.